In a fog-wrapped town, hidden behind two hills, there stood an old house that everyone called the Burrow place. No one remembered who Burrow was anymore. But every kid in town knew one thing. You didn't walk past the house after sunset. Not because it was haunted, not exactly, but because of a third-floor window that whispered. Yes, whispered, not all the time, not loud, not angry, but at just the right time when the wind blew a certain way and the moonlight hit the window just so you might hear your name. Whispered so gently, like someone breathing into your dream. 9-year-old Ellie Cartwright had lived in the town her whole life, and she was tired of hearing stories about that window. It's just an old house with a draft, she told her best friend Max, a boy who believed ghosts were probably real but didn't like testing that theory. People say it knows when someone's watching, Max replied, peeking at the house from behind a tree. Ellie grinned. Then I'll knock on the window and introduce myself. That Friday evening, with a backpack full of marshmallows, a notebook, her walkie-talkie, and 2 granola bars in case of ghost hunger, Ellie marched toward Burrow Place with Max tagging reluctantly behind her. The gate creaked open like it hadn't been touched in years. Vines twisted around the columns of the porch like sleepy snakes. Ellie stepped onto the first wooden plank, which moaned beneath her weight. "Still want to go inside?" Max asked, his voice thin. Ellie nodded. "I'm not scared of windows." She pushed the door. It opened without a sound. Dusty light filtered through broken blinds, and inside, everything looked paused. A cup still sat on the table. A book lay open on a chair. It was like someone had left in the middle of their life and never returned. They explored the ground floor, cobwebs and creaky boards, but no whispers. Max was hopeful they could leave soon, but then came the voice. Soft, cold, a little raspy, almost kind. "Ellie," the voice floated from upstairs. Max backed up so quickly he almost tripped. "Nopey, nopey, nopey." Ellie's mouth was dry. "You heard that too. I heard you might be cursed now." Ellie pulled out her flashlight and climbed the staircase. "Let's find out." The third floor smelled like damp paper and forgotten memories. The hallway stretched long and narrow, with paintings so old their faces had faded away. At the end was the window. The whispering window. Cracked, still, reflecting moonlight. Ellie stepped toward it. The floor creaked with every step. Max whispered prayers behind her. Then, the window fogged up from the inside. Words began to form, written by an invisible finger. "Help me," Max screamed. "Bye," and bolted down the stairs. But Ellie didn't run. She placed her palm on the glass. "Who are you?" she whispered. A new message appeared. "My name is Lucy. I'm trapped." The room grew colder. The air felt heavier. Ellie backed up and suddenly the floor beneath her cracked. She fell straight through the boards and landed hard in what felt like a basement. When she opened her eyes, she was in a room no one had mentioned in the stories. It was small, with shelves of old toys and a single rocking horse. In the corner sat a dusty music box, quietly playing itself, and beside it sat a girl, pale blonde hair in braids, wearing clothes from another time. She looked lonely. "Lucy," Ellie whispered. The girl looked up. "You heard me," Ellie nodded. "I've been trying for so long," Lucy said. "But no one ever listens all the way." Ellie sat across from her. "Why are you down here?" Lucy smiled sadly. "My family moved away. But I never did." The shadows in the basement began to shift. Ellie could feel something moving behind the walls, watching. "You're not a ghost, are you?" Lucy's smile vanished. "I wasn't, but they made me stay." Suddenly, the room grew colder. Lucy pointed to a spot on the wall, where something was hidden behind loose bricks. "That's where they kept the mirror," she whispered. "The one that traps voices. The one I touched. Don't let it out." Ellie's heart pounded. "Is that what's whispering from the window?" Lucy nodded. "It likes to pretend it's me." Ellie turned, and for a second, just a second, she saw something move in the reflection of the window behind her. Not her. Not Max. Not Lucy. Something older. Something watching. "Go," Lucy whispered. "Get out while you still can." The walls began to groan. Shadows stretched and curled like smoke. Ellie sprinted toward the stairwell, but the door above was sealed shut. "Max," she screamed. "Pull me out." Suddenly, the door burst open and Max's hand reached down. He grabbed her just in time as the basement floor cracked and swallowed the room hole behind her. They ran out the hallway, down the stairs, through the front door back into the street where the moon still hung quietly above. Neither of them said a word for a long time. Later that night, Ellie looked out her own window across town toward Burrow Place. The third-floor window was still, but in its reflection, she saw her own face, and behind it, Lucy, still waiting, still whispering. The end. Subscribe to Magic Burrow. Before the shadows start whispering your name to